This is LeetCode challenge 242 and it's called Valid Anagram. We have two strings S and T and we need to return true if T is an anagram of S and false otherwise. Now an anagram is a word or a phrase that can be formed by rearranging the letters of a different word or phrase. So typically we use the same original letters exactly once. Example, if we have anagram, you can rearrange the letters of anagram to form this nagaram. An opposite example, if you get rats, R-A-T, we have R and A here, but then we have a new character introduced, C, and this is not in this original string. So you can't rearrange rats to form car. In this case, we return false. Now, if we use the original letters only once, it means that both strings, whether they are words or phrases, both strings need to have the same characters and they need to appear an equal amount of time. So one approach to solving this is to store the count of characters from one string into a map where every key is going to be the character and every value is going to be the number of occurrence for that character in the string. And then we can increment the counts for occurrences for every character as we find them in the string. Then we can do the opposite for the second string, meaning the opposite is going to look for the equivalent key corresponding to the character and decrement them. Because if the characters appear an equal amount of times in both strings, one string increments the count for occurrences and the second string decrements them. So if we have an anagram, by the time we are done processing both strings, all the values in the map for all the characters are supposed to be 0. In this case, as you can see, R and A might be 0, but T is going to have a count of 1 because it was never decremented inside of the string. And C is also going to have a count of 1. So once we iterate through the map and we find a value that is not a 0, then we stop the iteration and we deduce that we do not have an anagram. So this logic, which I just explained, is what you see here. I create an unordered map. The keys are going to be for characters and the values are going to be the counts for occurrences. The name of this map is M. So now I'm using a for each loop. I'm accessing every character by reference inside of my string S, that is the first string, and I'm incrementing the counts for occurrences for every character. The good thing in C++ is that if that character does not exist in the map, it's going to add it automatically and then increments the value to 1 because by default, integers have a value of 0. So it's going to increment it and it's going to be 1. Then it's going to be 2 and so on. But this is for every character found inside of the string S. Now we have the second string and it's supposed to find the same characters and decrement them. If it has other characters that are not present here, it's also going to add them and decrement the values. But where we verify if we have an anagram or not is right here. We now use the for each loop for the map. I'm accessing every item in my map. Remember that every item is a pair of characters and integers. So I'm accessing every item inside of my map and I'm checking here if the value, we can access the value by using this second property here, this attributes. We can say item.second and verify if it's not a 0 and it's a different value from 0, it means that we did not have an anagram. So we stop everything and we return false. If this loop went from start to finish and it never returned, it means that we had an anagram and therefore we return true. So now let's run the code here. We have true for this one. And if you test here and you type rats and then car here, then when you print this, we get false as expected. Now let's run this code here. I'm going to submit it directly and we've passed the whole challenge. This LeetCode problem, which was number 242. It was called Valid Anagram. So if you like my solution in C++ and you want to practice for more coding interview questions or any sort of technical interview questions, please subscribe to my channel and I'll catch you next time.